Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Galloping, and today it's a let's play in the Tier 6 Russian tech tree destroyer Minsk. Now this is in light of what was discussed in Sunday's video, and if the changes to the Russian destroyers in the October patch does tickle your fancy, then the overall look of that all will be carded top right now. Now this is a tier 6 and 7 game of Domination Land of Fire, enemy team Akatsuki working for Mass, Tashkent on its own, Kagaru working on Iowa, New York, Fiji, Kutsov and Baltimore. So only one battleship, only one radar cruiser on the enemy team. I've spawned adjacent a friendly Utachi. My intention is he does have the better detectability, so I'd much rather he goes in first and I can supply some form of covering fire. So, the Minsk. Well, the Russian destroyer tech tree tiers 4 through 6 aren't exactly my favourite, is the best way to put it. The 4 km torpedoes does really reduce your utility in a game. However, they have a different playstyle, I guess you could say. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a crack at giving that playstyle a go during this game. So here I'm just on the edge of the detectability of the York. I'm just going to start opening fire. I mean, on the edge of my range, I should say. So my intention here is just to quickly chuck out a little bit of harassing fire, get him to fire some AP. That's fine by me because I can just dodge all that. And there's the mass on the right hand flank. So what that does mean is that the destroyer division is over there. So I'm just going to quickly drop off range again. And I think this time I'll stick my nose into the Bravo objective, something that I was hoping my friend the Utachi would have done by now. Gonna aim for past that corner of the island. I want to make sure that I'm ready to run away. Making sure that I'm staying at least more than 6 kilometers away from the York because he has his aircraft up. Nice little rule of thumb. The circumference of an aircraft flying from a ship is about 3 kilometers, and for most destroyers the detectability by aircraft is about 3 kilometers. So that's a nice little rule of thumb. If you haven't played the destroyer much, or you haven't really noted all the detection limits before you've gone to a game, just make sure you stay away from anything that has an aircraft up by at least a distance of 6 kilometers. So this objective is all nicely captured. The Utachi finally coming over here, noting on our map that our 2 cruisers over at the Charlie objective have gone. So I think we kind of want to start making a move over, or do we? Let's see. Mass is working with... there's 2 plays here. I can either go over to the Charlie objective, but I know I'm going to be heavily outnumbered and they have that objective. Or I can go over to the Alpha objective, where I know we already have a numerical superiority, help our team get that over and done with, and then hope that we can then use our numerical superiority to continue to hold the Bravo objective. And I think that's what I'm going to go for. Nearest thing to me is way off to the south there. I want to say he's like there. So I'm going to use my engine boost because I should be able to hunt very aggressively with that. Because I know it's got to be an Akatsuki. Hopefully, me using a sector alert on the Akatsuki has assisted my team in having an awareness that there's a destroyer within that vicinity. That's one of the nice things of mixing the sector alert with a RDF, I should say. It's a nice little trick that I've been trying recently, and it seems to work in general. Generally, people seem to twig. Now the Akatsuki does have slightly better guns than me, but they don't have the same rate of fire. Kind of dodge those torpedoes. Should be okay to turn around these ones. There we go. So all that leaves on this flank is the mass, and I'm probably the best equipped destroyer to go for the mass. So I'm probably going to say defend Bravo, and then point my ship along the bearing. That's where he is. Keep my guns trained off to my right hand side. What's that? Hopefully that's a Z39. There's the mass. We'll take those torpedoes in the front, but now we can start swinging around. Now our engine being knocked out isn't too much of a concern simply because of the unstoppable trait, but we will put the fire out because we do want to try and maintain as much of our health advantage during this combat. I'm going to quickly just change our speed and see if that changes how the mass responds. Whether the fire is going to last the full 17 seconds, no way we can damage con that, so we're just going to have to wait and see if we can actually survive without being burned out. But thankfully, as a destroyer, the amount of HP we lose per second from the fire in proportion to our health is a lot lower, which is quite nice, and also the duration of the fire is not that long. So we've been able to get rid of one of their destroyers and walk away from it. So now heading into the Bravo objective, noting that the larger units of my team have basically done as I partially requested, go defend Bravo, which means we've been able to take our numerical advantage from the Alpha objective over onto the Bravo objective, so we have a 2-cap advantage. And we also know we don't have a destroyer in our back. Also, a nice one to know is our destroyer that was over at the Charlie objective has fallen back towards the Bravo objective, so as a team we've reformed quite nicely actually. Unfortunately, all 3 of our destroyers are on tiny amounts of health, however our battleship and our cruiser are doing very well. We also have a slight health advantage on one of our Udachis. However, it would be very quick for them to destroy 3 of our destroyers if they end up in such a position of being able to take advantage of that. I was thinking of firing at range there, but I think I'm going to leave that and just close in a little bit more. So what do you have left? They have a Tashkent. Okay, that's going to be quite vicious because he's going to have a lot of HP. They've also got that Kagura, and we've seen him get knocked down to about half HP. There's the Baltimore. So the Baltimore, we have to bear in mind that he does have radar. So we're going to be wanting to keep some distance away from the Baltimore. Looks like we're pushing the smoke screen with the friendly Udachi. And train my guns to my right hand side. And I think we will actually put our engine boost on. My only caution at the moment is I am right next to this Udachi, so if torpedoes come up for the Udachi, potentially they could get me. Tashkent as well. Nice, Udachi did good. Swinging it around, gonna pop on my smoke because I know I've got the Udachi. Nice. No. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter too much. So that means they've only got the Baltimore left. Now Kutsov or Kuznetsov should be more than capable of dealing with that. Now we managed to get ourselves all three of the caps. With only 718 health left, I do not want to be anywhere near that Baltimore, so I think the rest of this game is going to be about staying more than 9 kilometers away from that Baltimore. Potentially we could get a little bit of harassing fire in over the smoke screens if we get an opportunity. I think even though a lot of us are weak, we do actually have a DPM advantage there. We're having so many ships still in the game. So that was a interesting little game in the Minsk. Just playing around with a couple of different ideas of what to do with her, but really when you're playing the Minsk, just forget about the torpedoes. It's all about the guns. It's about trying to use those. If you can find a DD in isolation, pick it off. Against cruisers and battleships, you want to be playing at your maximum range, trying to get some pop shots in when they're not looking. You're almost just throwing the dice and seeing what you can get sometimes. Only 26,000 damage and going to the team results. Coming second on the team, which does surprise me because there were quite a few players who kind of knew what they were doing there, which was actually quite nice to see. Going to the economy tab, obviously made myself a nice pretty penny, first one of the day. Now, this is Tuesday's video and I do apologise it being a little bit later than the usual. Basically I did record this the other night and upon reviewing it again this morning I realised I had ballsed it up a little bit too much, so I thought, well, I better crack on and get this recorded again. I'm quite happy to be able to get it recorded quite nicely there. Well, if you have enjoyed this Let's Play in the Minsk, feel free to give the video a thumbs up, and if you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. If you are already a subscriber, let's say thank you very much, guys, for your continued support and contribution to the channel. If you have any of your own game captures that you'd like to send in to the channel, then our email address is down below, along with the commander build and the ship modules used during this game. If you would also like to support the channel on Patreon, feel free to check out our Patreon page, which is linked in the description. Until next time, I'm the Galloping, and back to the port.